Assalamu alaikum. Have you ever wondered why native speakers sound different than us? Today, we're going to discuss about one such difference in this video. And I have with me Wajid Assad, so I'm going to ask some questions to him. So my first question to you is, why do native speakers sound different than us? If we speak English, or we know we can speak very well, still there are some differences, like they sound very well, they sound melodious than us. What is the difference?
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, you're right. When you're talking about the native speakers, there are a few differences between their speech and our speech. And one such difference is aspiration. And what do I mean by aspiration? There are three sounds like p, then t, then k. So for those who do not have any information about sounds, for those I like to say words that start with P, then T, and then K, or with C, but when it is realized as K. And it's not only about words, it's about the syllables. If a syllable starts with a P sound, or a T sound, or a K sound, what native speakers do, they pronounce these three sounds in the beginning of syllables as if there is an H, an invisible H that is not written in the spelling. So we, as non-natives, we say cat, they say cat. We say pen, they say pen. We say 10, they say 10. That's why you might hear, or you will definitely hear a native speaker say, he is my teacher. And in this part of the world, or in any non-English country, people will say, he is my teacher. Teacher. The pronunciation is same. Both pronounce the word teacher. One pronounces the word as teacher, and the other speaker, native speaker in this case, he pronounces the word as teacher. So this is aspiration. P, T, K. Natives. P, T, K. Non-natives. Thank you.
Alright, do the natives always say Pert and K?
Well, it's an interesting question. Do they always say P, T, and K? No, there is an exception to this. When a word starts with S, if there is an S in the spelling, and P, T, or K, or P, T, K, any of them, if they follow that S, so the word, it starts with, say, S, then the next letter is T, or P, or K. For example, S-T-U, D-E-N-T. Now, this T, it will not be aspirated. They'll say student. They'll say speech. They'll say school. But we make a mistake here. We try to master it. As non-natives, it is not wrong. If you want to sound like a native speaker, it's not wrong. It should not be considered as something that is incorrect or inappropriate. Now, they say school, or here, people who do not have complete information, complete knowledge about aspiration, they say speech, school, student, and that is incorrect. If you want to aspirate these three sounds, you aspirate them when they occur in the beginning of syllables. So say 10, say pen, say pin, but spin. Right. Say peach, but speech. Is that clear?
All right, yeah.
Thank you.
All right. We, being not natives, we most of the times find it a little awkward saying we say pen. We prefer to say pen instead of pen. And mostly, and I told you, a lot of people saying, they find it a little awkward. So is it better to say pen instead of pen? Or if we say pen, is there anything wrong in it?
Well, this again is a very nice question. When we talk about aspiration, one thing we have to understand is it is not something that you have to necessarily do. If you do not do it, it is still correct. If you say pen, that is correct. But when you say pen, like natives, that is also correct. Nothing wrong with that. But I have a problem with people who do not want you to say pen. Now, if you say pen, ten, cat, and you copy those native speakers, it is okay. But if you stop people from saying pen, the opposite also true. If you stop people from saying pen, that is wrong. You cannot stop people from saying pen. Saying pen is equally correct as saying pen. So aspiration is something optional. If you do it, okay. If you do not do it, still okay. But personally, if you ask me, I do it. I like to do it. I come across people on the street. If they do not aspirate, I have no problem with them.
There are different things that they gotta have hold over, like it is speaking, it's listening, and it's writing, and so many things. And people, they straight away go and they focus on speaking instead of listening. How important is listening?
When we talk about the skills of language, the first skill is listening. So it is LSRW, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Now, if you make a kid, small little kid, you make him or her straight away, to write things. That is not correct. First, if you want to make people speak a foreign language, so we must first make them listen to, speeches, listen to words, structures, pronunciation of things, maybe different types of speeches. It can vary from sport. It can vary from sports, entertainment, politics. To maybe to any other thing. Like you can have a lot of things. You can discuss a lot of things. But one thing you have to make sure that is you have to make your students listen to more and more speeches and more lectures, more and more things in general. So speaking is very important. Then you expose them to writing. It's a gradual process. So there are some crash courses on social media. Every now and then you come across posters in which people say, we'll make you speak English in 2 months. I think this is nonsensical. You cannot make people speak in 2 months or 3 months. It's a very long process. But when it comes to mastering pronunciation, or any accent of native speakers, be that American or British or Australian, it takes a lot of time. So one has to be a little patient, and you have to go from simple to complex. You have to start with something that is very simple, like very basic, like aspiration. In this case, we say make your kids learn p, t, k. Now, your next question, it should be like, how can we become consistent? How can we perfect ourselves? How can we be better at it? Or how can we improve on it? Because people lack consistency. I have seen a lot of people who start, aspirating these sounds. Then what happens during their speeches, they aspirate few sounds and they do not aspirate the other. And this happens because they haven't practiced on it. And you must, if you are a beginner, so you must maybe first learn some tongue twisters. Those tongue twisters, you have sounds like p or t or k. I can remember my trainer, he Said Hamid, or when I was at his academy and he trained me, and what he made us do was to repeat those tongue twisters. One of them was, I can still remember, it was something like Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Where is the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? So when it is Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, so we were made to pronounce all those p sounds, but sounds like p sounds. So we didn't say Peter Piper picked a peck. We used to say Peter Piper picked a peck. And I would repeat this, over and over again. And this makes you become consistent in this respect.
And last, are there some practices like students should go for?
Yeah, there are some things that you can involve in, like conversation, one-on-one conversation. One thing is very important. You need to have somebody around who is always willing to talk to you. Like, you mustn't force people into talking to you. First, find someone, a cousin, a brother, a friend, a teacher, or someone who can talk to you. Maybe if it is a parent or a brother or somebody from your immediate family, that'll help. So talk to them all the time, and have someone. If you do not have anyone in your family, you can find someone who can talk to you from time to time and monitor you where you're going wrong, and they correct you. Record your voice and make your trainer or somebody who is helping you, make him or her listen to your voice notes or listen to your recordings, and they can come across some points maybe that you may have to correct, and they let you know and help you improve them.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.